G'day, welcome to Semen Retention Saturday special. Here at one of my gigs out here at a scout camp in Melbourne. And today I wanted to talk about just a few things like reading the room. So part of my job as a musician is to read the room, read the vibes, get people to feel comfortable. I'm playing music, I'm not going to go play some really upbeat stuff when people are wanting to relax, and I'm not going to play some really relaxing music when people want to go upbeat. So when you're on semen retention, you become hyper aware of all these things, and it's almost like just some people are just getting real closed off from reality, real closed off from all the things that they do that they may have never even gained awareness of how it's impacting everyone else around them. So once again, I get to my gig this week without a car. Got a full setup, kind of all about on the train, whatnot. And across me, behind me, there's this girl talking to her mother. Both of these, there's two things that happened. Both were girls talking to their mother, and I just thought it was pretty interesting. The first one was talking to her mother and talking about other people in their family and all that kind of stuff. And it was just, it was kind of like unnecessary bullshit that we just didn't need to hear on the train. And a lot of the conversation was just outlandishly way too loud. Like, you're on a train, and she had headphones. I've got headphones in, so I don't have to project my voice into the camera because I don't want to look like an idiot screaming into a camera, screaming into a phone. That's why we have headphones. She had AirPods or whatever they are, Bluetooth speakers that could have probably recorded her voice. And I'm just thinking, wow, this person's so oblivious. And when you're on SR, you are the opposite of oblivious. You are hyper aware, you're awake, especially if you're practicing long term, and also you're doing things like fasting, meditating, cleansing, clearing, cleaning, having a healthy diet. It really shocks me at just how oblivious and ignorant people can be of their surroundings. So then, still on the same train, that girl gets off, another girl gets on later down the line. I'm on a long train ride. And this other girl jumps on, having a conversation with her mum on the phone, and she's saying, it's very intense kind of conversation. She's like, look, Mum, don't talk over the top of me, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, wow, you really think it's a good idea to come on the train and bring your little family issues onto the train for everyone to have a listen? Is that what you really think? Sitting on the train and talking to people about what's going on with your sister or whatever, and all this drama surrounding her sister to her mum, and saying that her mum doesn't care about her sisters. Why do I need to know about this? And why are you making it so obvious? And she even had the audacity, whilst a 10-year-old boy, probably 9 to 10 years old, sat next to her, and she said, and you're not going to care about your daughter until she unalives herself one day. She said the K word. She was going to K herself. She said that for a whole carriage to hear, and she wasn't yelling. She was having a normal conversation with her mum, but it was loud enough for at least 20 people within the carriage to hear it. And she's sitting right next to a 10-year-old boy. You got to understand that words have a lot of power. That's why I try and make this channel very positive. I try and make the message very positive on this channel. I try and make, what I say uplift you. I try and make it inspire people. I am going to have a rant, that's fine, but I need to use these real life scenarios as anecdotes and as teachings for you guys to kind of reflect on yourselves and think, yeah, actually, you know what, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop having conversations on public transport where everyone can hear me. You know, like, you can have those kind of conversations, but just don't do them in public places. Don't poison other people's auras. Don't poison other people's minds with your casting of spells of the words that you use and the negativity that you use within those words and sentences, and even the tone of your voice, projecting negativity into the world. Don't do that. And you know what? If you're on the train, you don't have to aggravate them or anything like that, but you can make it obvious that you're not into it. You can just go, or go, like something like that, just to draw attention to the fact that you're over it. And then you'll be surprised if you do it with enough kind of confidence. They're gonna see, hopefully, that they are acting like an absolute moron. So that's spatial awareness and reading the room. Reading the room on Semen Retention, or Semen Retention, depending what you're on, you know. Really depends on what you want to do. But yeah, that's like pretty much the whole thing about that. Just different topics I want to talk about as well is I think you're going to start to be aware of people casting negative energies towards you. And it's so the case that yesterday at my gig, there was a group of elderly men. They look like very powerful men as well. We're talking like potentially a fraternity. You know, all at least over 70 years old. There was maybe a younger dude there as well. They were sitting at my gig. For some reason, my gig got moved to an earlier time, and these old people were there. And as soon as I got there, I could tell this is not who I want to be playing music to. They didn't want it. I didn't want to play to them. But I had to get on with the job. I was eyeing them down because they were eyeing me down. And when you're on SR, semen retention, you have the ability to hold your gaze. You can look. And when you can tell that someone's casting negativity to you with their eyesight, just imagine with your third eye, or just imagine. You don't have to think about third eye or anything like that. Just imagine deflecting that energy back at them. So everything that they send to you, use your imagination or your third eye and deflect that energy back at them. Don't submit to them. Don't look away. Because you want to show people that you're serious, and you want to show people that you are in control of your own energy. And when people try and take control of your energy and cast, you know, negativity towards you, or spells or whatnot, all that kind of stuff, that's when shit can go really bad. That's when you'll be playing, you know, music, and then suddenly you'll forget the lyrics or something like that, because people are literally casting spells consciously or unconsciously. You know, they don't know about it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, that's just the world we live in. You know, you can't be ignorant to this stuff. People are always doing shady shit with that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful about that. So yeah, I just think that, you know, if you want to take care of your energy, if you want to remain in control of your power and what you've cultivated, especially if you've cultivated a long streak, especially if you're on SR and you're really trying to use this as a way of exiting the matrix. Another thing I want to talk about is like the sport obsession, like on men. Like, why are we so obsessed with sport? It's so stupid. Like, we can use sport as a fun activity, but to idolize teams and organizations that are usually run by like alcohol companies and gambling companies and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not what you want to do. It's just, that's not really what you want to be doing. When I was playing that gig, it was like this whole thing about, apparently the reason why I had to start earlier is because they didn't want me to play during the time of the footy. So it was like, okay, well, see how it is. You want to prioritise footy over music, that's fine, whatever. But then you look at the people that enjoy the footy, and that's actually the minority of people. Majority of people don't care about certain sports, but they just go along with it because it's like a topical kind of thing. And in Australia, we've got footy, we've got soccer, we've got rugby, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all pointless. It's why I got to this realization where I was like, why do you watch other people achieve what they want to achieve and place money on those sort of things and all that kind of stuff? Yet they're the ones making millions of dollars, running around living like a king, getting away from, doing illegal stuff. They live like kings. They get so many free passes in life. They can do bad things to people and all that kind of stuff. And you're sitting there watching them like as if they matter in your existence. Because I can tell you 100%, they definitely don't give a fuck about you, that's for sure. So when you go on this kind of cultivation of energy, you're not going to be idolizing other people. Even if you're an actor and you love a certain actor, let's say Jim Carrey, and you love Jim Carrey, you're not going to be, you're not going to be obsessing over Jim Carrey. So just realize that you're just as powerful as any other human being out there, okay? Don't put your power into someone else. Keep it for yourself. That's it. Alright, talk soon.